crawl into the underworld. Afterlife, an abyss protects you. In the light, goddess of the sun brings you life. A deity, best it is her name. Come learn the ways of man, become one with the sand. The fate is in your hands. It's time to fight. You will rise, not fall. Never lose hope on the ground. We are one for all. The truth will always conquer. Capture the earth, chasing your mark. Get a lot mystical formation. Tear down the walls, beat on the drums. Let us claim this is war. In the dark, a river flows. The Nile is so big power. The morning star is seen in our side. In the light, find your desert altar and your shrine. Look for peace, defeat the enemy. Run to the obelisk, defend this legacy. Fly to your destiny. It's time to fight. You will rise, not fall. Never lose hope on the ground. We are one for all. The truth will always conquer. Capture the earth, chasing your mark. Get a lot mystical formation. Tear down the walls, beat on the drums. Let us claim this. We rise, reach for the sky. Hold on to your weapons with pride. We rise up higher. Conquer the arm. Get ready to fight for your life. We rise up. We are the kings, we are the queens. We are the gods, gods to solve this animation. Turn on the walls, making our mark. 'Cause we are the kings, we are the queens. Let's win this war.
Hello, governors. Welcome to Osiris League Season 8 Playoff Quarterfinals. I am your host, Plato Gaming, caster and content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, and back to cast alongside me is content creator Dirty Dan. Thanks for being here with me, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. And this second match of the day is looking to be spicy.
Yeah, this match is going to be a spicy one as we are in the second round of the knockout stages, the quarterfinals, where each team is in a win or go home scenario, facing against each other to be crowned Osiris League champions of their realms. The second match that we are casting today is in the realm of Horus, JST from Kingdom 1365 versus WIB from Kingdom 1846. JST has been the model of consistency in the realm of Horus, making it to the top 4 each of the last 4 seasons. However, they are looking to make it back to the pinnacle of Osiris League, back to being the realm of Horus champions, as they have not done so since Osiris League in Season 4. Since then, teams like 1V has been in their way, last season 93T was in their way, and in this match, WIB from Kingdom 1846 is looking to block JST's path to the championship. WIB from Kingdom 1846 has also been in the top 4 3 of the last 4 seasons, being a model of consistency in the realm of Anubis. With this being their first Osiris League run in Horus, they are looking to also claim the title as Osiris League champions. So JST versus WIB, 1365 versus 1846. Who will take the next step to Osiris League glory? Hey Dan, what are you thinking?
This is a total toss-up. So I actually just had someone message on my thoughts on what this game is going to be, and that both teams just so experienced for so long. I mean, you're talking almost about 2 years have been running in Osiris League consistently and placing in the top consistently. So both teams are going to be very technically sound. They're going to have the account with the firepower to do so. I think this is really going to come down to potential skill usages, and then maybe any funky plays like we kind of saw in the last that we saw, a little bit of skill combination. So this is a total toss up, but it's going to be amazing match to watch.
Yeah, as we said, both these teams pretty much staples to make it to the top four. The fact that both of them are versing in this quarterfinals means that one of these teams will not make it to the top four. One of these teams will not get that coveted training city skin, which is on the line with this match. Winning this match in the quarterfinals guarantees you in the semifinals, which, top four teams in each realm gets that coveted city skin. And it's going to be really interesting because these are two of the top teams, meaning we will probably get to see if, how good Belisarius Prime is, how good Eleanor is, because those two commanders are unlocked for this game. So Dirty Dan, what do you think we'll see some Eleanor action, some Belisarius Prime here?
Eleanor, I'm not too sure. I know it's a steep investment to go for these captain commanders, whether it's garrison or rally lead, but both of these being pretty whaley. So I think there's a little bit better opportunity, and I think we'll definitely see belly primes in the field, whether that's for arc carriers, whether that's for formers, just open field presence alone. So these new commanders that have come into the game are definitely going to have some sort of impact. As a dedicated cav main, I would love to see some Eleanor action, so we can kind of get a gauge on whether or not she's going to be worth investing in.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super interesting. These two teams fighting for Osiris League lives. WIB, even though, you see them always in the top of Osiris League, they've never won an Osiris League Realm Championship. They've always been stopped by 60 GT in that realm of Anubis. Now in the realm of Horus, they're trying to make their mark here. JST, they did win in season 4, but ever since then, stopped by 1V and stopped by 93T. Both these teams trying to get that win in Osiris League and trying to, make it to the next step with this game. Who has more to win here? Is it 1846 or is it 1365? Dirty Dan.
I think 1846, when you're searching for that golden egg for so long, I think it's definitely going to be much more rewarding as opposed to being on the side of JST of kind of getting back up to that pinnacle. And I mean, last season they were in the finals, so they've been there before. But for 1846, I think for them there's much more to win and much more to gain. Just really kind of been chasing for so long and just kind of coming up short, and having the beast and the monster in in the realm with 60 GT. So I think a little bit of a breath of fresh air for 1846 here, getting into a little bit more of I guess you want to say maybe a stable realm, but a realm that's full of experience as well. So still not going to be an easy path for them. It's going to be an amazing match, but definitely rooting for WIB on this one personally to see if they can crack through and advance to the semifinal.
As we get into the game here, JST in the top left corner, teleporting in the 1x1 teleport, showing that it is a top team. Everyone meticulously placed in a spot. Same thing with WIB. And something just dawned on me. These two kingdoms, their last KVK, where it was against each other. I mean, there was some blood in that KVK. There was some drama. So there might be some, extra stakes on top of this Osiris League. Maybe some bragging rights between these two. You see raw ability in the front. You can see the powers here.
as you alluded to, these teams for the first time facing off against each other in Osiris League. So, kind of and adding a little bit to that drama this match. And who doesn't love drama in Rise of Kingdom community?
We have Makote as well, 576 million power, an absolute powerhouse in both Osiris League and in KVKs. We could go ahead and look at JST's powers. Do you have any openings? What are we looking for in the openings here, Dirty Dan?
I believe from what I've seen on previous matches, WIB does have a tendency at times to kind of come out a little bit aggressive, whereas JST kind of comes out balanced at times. But again, with so much on the line and kind of, as you alluded to, bragging rights, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these teams kind of come out swinging on these openings. I know, especially to watch for on our first arc rotation, what I've seen in the past from WIB and it is a very aggressive front push on the arc. So curious to see if they keep that same gameplay pattern, or if they're going to look to change it up, because there's scouting reports now, and maybe JST is ready for that.
And as the gates fall here, we start to see the initial marches, the speedy double C's. Double C Julius Caesar T1s rushing out to these outposts. The initial rallies here looking like the classic 4 obelisk rallies for both teams here. So no outpost rally shenanigans as of yet. Defensive rallies to make sure your garrisons get to your own obelisks. Offensive rallies to potentially contest an obelisk, but I'm expecting more so as a transport rally to the desert altars. You could see that the sentries pretty much mirrored in this outer lane here. The Sky Altar top side, Sky Altar Shrine of Life lane. Vision not overlapping, so they don't know that sentries are there, but pretty much identical placements. Perhaps WIB being a bit deeper and closer to the opponent obelisk here, as we start to see the initial obelisks get captured. These two sentries, though, right on top of each other, pretty much facing each other, saying hi. JST's T1 or fast marches will be able to snipe out this WIB sentry, which is going to be huge. WIB won't know what outer lane attack there will be. We could see WIB, they have this vision now, but now this vision has been cleared. And I feel like JST kind of read this play, because they brought out a double C in this outer lane straight to their sentry.
Yeah, that's what we've been kind of harping on. I mean, it's all about this season's a little bit different. Going to be more diligent in doing their homework, seeing the tendencies of the other team, and using those appropriately to counter. We saw it just in the last match alone. So the teams that are doing a little bit more homework seem to be coming out on top here.
See this middle sentry as well, just seeing if there's any outpost inner lane shenanigans going on, as it actually looks like WIB being first on this desert altar.
Very fast.
Super fast desert altar. You could see all cavalry coming up from WIB. We have the Ethelfled Trajan full cavalry march. And you know, if you see Ethelfled in KVK, you're kind of laughing, just swarming that thing down. But in Osiris League, Ethelfled's debuffs, Trajan's buffs are actually very effective, which is why we see them in these top matches. 120 seconds, 2 minutes until Desert Altar is open. And between the two positions, I would definitely say that WIB having this 50-50 position versus it does look like JST will be able to push up on. So both sides will have a 50-50 position here. JST bringing some marches to this obelisk here. Looks like there might be a chance of an obelisk play.
So everyone's starting to honor that. I think you have to keep in mind that there is a potential sneaky tactics to open up, and I think teams are definitely honoring that play much more than I think that we've seen in the past.
By the way, both teams not using energetic yet.
Wow.
Usually in the opening, you see energetic be popped instantly, but in this match, maybe trying to hide the skills a little bit. It's Eleanor Garrison. I was about to say, what is that skill animation? It's Eleanor in the obelisk.
First Eleanor sighting.
Rally's getting swarmed down. The Joan of Arc Nevsky rally. That skill animation is pretty nice. You could see the XY Belisarius as well, which is, you know, where people tend to put Belisarius as that third pair. Looks like that obelisk will be defended, but in the meantime, because WIB committed members to this obelisk, their Desert Altar is being exposed, their Shrine of Life looks to be exposed. So even though it wasn't a successful play from JST, it looks like there will be some benefits here. What do you think, Dirty Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's I was just talking about it on one of my streams a few days ago as I kind of broke down the play that defeated 2975 with this tactic open on the obelisk. It forces you to commit resources to protect the ob. You need to have that ob in the beginning of the match, which kind of then sacrifices some of those positional advantages that you'll have on your home structures. As we see WIB kind of having a nice defense here. We got to see if they can hold out, but still a very good play from JST here to kind of push the tempo, try to swing things in their favor, as there is another Eleanor in the field too. So there are Eleanor in play for this match.
Eleanor looking to be the main garrison for both of these teams. We see Heraclius and YSS, but Eleanor being the outpost as well as his forward Desert Altar garrison. JST being able to take the WIB Desert Altar, but WIB also taking the JST Desert Altar. We have 6 minutes left to go here, and it looks like WIB is trying to sad face their marches onto Cactus's city here. Now, my question is, Dirty Dan, we have 2 minutes left in this Desert Altar. I guess it's just for the timers, right? You just have to make sure you go mid, sacrifice the first occupation on the Desert Altar, and just have a faster mid rotation.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about, 750 points to the 3,000 you're going to get with Arc. So I mean, you are denying the points for a little bit. Even if you don't get first occupation, I do believe that first rotation is definitely a little bit more important.
I also believe that they have a forward garrison in this, and they're like, hey, we don't need the open field, we could hold it for a minute and get the first occupation. It's going to be a pretty risky play. We'll see if it'll pay off here, as we see Eleanor out in the open field, just sprinting towards this Desert Altar. We have a Heraclius with YSS inside of this Desert Altar. Mixed troop garrison. We see Huakibing and Belisarius. So Belisarius being used in both of these marches. Huakibing Belisarius, XY Belisarius. The top teams here using Belisarius heavily in their murder ball. It's making Dirty Dan, you and me, investing in Belisarius maybe might not have been the worst idea after all, as they were able to take back the Desert Altar. WIB trying to take back their own Desert Altar. And
even for these Osiris League, it's almost, he's almost essential. He needs to be in the lineup. I think that was a gimme. So it's nice to see that we're seeing a lot more of the Belisarius in play here for the second match.
As we do have the new dot mode. You could see the different troop types in dot mode. And I believe that this is the first Ark of Osiris match or Osiris League match that both of these teams, this new dot mode change was implemented. So the question is, if you're in a mid fight, do you use dot mode or do you zoom in, because you could see the different troops and what to target here?
Me personally, I've always been a non-dot mode fighter. I just like to see what commanders I'm hitting. But I guess you can you can take the point that using dot mode is really nice now, especially in these mid fights, because you want to target the cavalries first. You want to get the fastest troops off the field first. Those are going to be obviously priority arc carriers. So probably would take that approach a little bit differently now with this new dot mode that we have, and being able to identify what troops are what.
By the way, Sky Altar being taken, this outer lane play that we keep referring to every single time we cast together. We have 3 minutes left until arc spawns. WIB, WIB kind of have to decide, do we commit troops to the Sky Altar to try to take it back, or do we full commit to mid? Either way, they are late to this mid rotate. JST having full control of this mid while also having control of an enemy altar. This is looking pretty rough for WIB. You can see the points per minute, 410 to 230 points per minute. As Arc is going to spawn in 2 minutes 50 seconds.
This is JST coming out a little bit more aggressive than I was expecting. So really pushing the issue here. And again, the outer lane play right before Arc is so key. And that timing on that too as well, because you don't want to go for that right off the bat and right off the opening, because then you kind of offset the timing differential. But I think here when the arc spawn is so close, and taking that altar is just massive. It causes such a disruption of what you should do. There's a lot of blue on the map for these structures, Plato.
Yeah, there is a lot of blue going towards this desert altar. Perhaps they're trying to, you know, contest mid. Maybe some form of pincer, actually. Look at the amount of marches on the top side, the bottom side, the middle.
Both sides, yeah.
This is looking like a pincer.
Championship experience right here. And you can see that those marches that are kind of pincering are starting to cut off those back end late rotations there. Which are, it's always devastating. It's always devastating because you want to get into mid, but at times you want to also take care of those guys who are starting to pick you off. So JST just looking at really full control here.
Yeah, because these whip marches, they're just running straight there. JST's able to get full damage, also being able to go mid. We start to see Dust Up be used by WIB. JST also using Dust Up. And now WIB, they have to make a decision. Do we continue pushing, or do we control the people in the back? Because they're going to get sandwiched here in this mid fight. All JST has to do is hold in front of this temple. Meanwhile, the sandwich coming behind of WIB's murder ball is looking to eat. As we see WIB, this is exactly what you need to do in this situation. If you're getting sandwiched, you have to commit to one side, try to sad face that side, then swing back down. But the thing is, even if WIB get a pull, Dirty Dan, there will be JST marches right behind them.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a pretty scenario right now for WIB, and just a beautiful play here from JST. And this just goes to show too, it's not always about, you know, the skills in the middle or who's pushing structures and whatnot. A beautiful pincer play here from JST to open up on this first arc spawn.
I don't know if it's beautiful, Dirty Dan, because I'm seeing a lot of sad faces coming up from WIB. It looks like that first top murder ball got cleared because, you know, all of WIB's troops was in one ball. They did exactly what they needed to do. They sad faced that top ball in front of the arc. Now they're engaging in this bottom ball, and it looks like JST is actually getting cleared here.
They are getting cleared, actually. Yeah. Not paying off here.
And I feel like that play might have worked if WIB was not decisive. But because of how decisive WIB was, the shot calling, just saying, hey, we're getting pincered, let's go wipe this first ball, and then we'll go back down and wipe the second ball. JST sad face WIB with a clean pull, which is exactly what they needed in this first arc because they are down in occupation.
Yeah, structures, all altars look blue right now. Moment for JST, so structure approach potentially for JST with that little bit of a funky play and clean arc pull for WIB. So this is gonna be a tight one, I think, as we were kind of expecting it to be.
Yeah, JST just saying, hey, we're not gonna full commit mid. We're gonna, do this sandwich play, but in the meanwhile, we're gonna take your Desert Altar. We've had your Sky Altar back and forth this whole time, so even with this arc, like they're at a 2.4k advantage right now. This arc would only give them like what, a 1k advantage with the or 500 point advantage with the with the first arc only being 3k points. So it's essentially an even game here. JST, I expect them to continue growing this lead as they continue to get these structures. Although taking this Desert Altar from WIB is huge for them to stem the bleeding. 150 points per minute denied to JST.
And then we always have the ever favorite question: is WIB gonna hold this arc? Are they gonna look to cash and continue to score points from the mid game?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting... Do they hold and try to make it a 2-arc game, or...
One thing to note that I've noticed too on skill usages as well is WIB loves to use hard push, which we kind of saw a little bit of a fall off from. But there is going to be some presence from those rallies and a little bit of a focus on some of the structures too, getting that nice march speed and also the damage boost from those rallies.
You start to see WIB marches running towards these cities again, sad facing their marches, and it just shows that timing is everything. I think most teams here would have just been, hey, let's keep our marches around this area, try to defend this Desert Altar, but WIB sending their low marches towards this Cactus City. This Cactus guy might be MVP with how much people are just running into their city over and over and over again.
Kind of makes you think too, if you want to maybe swap the garrison, if you know that they're going to be intentionally going onto your city, maybe putting like a city keeper on there or something to kind of slow down the rate at which those troops kind of get zeroed out.
But then that would be, it really depends on the power of the city. 124 million power, you're probably safe to do so. I know for Grand Prix and for like when there are dev accounts and everyone has the same account, like a ton of troops, that's viable. But as we can see, Sky Altar trying to be taken back by WIB. So this Desert Altar play is actually them stabilizing because they don't have their own Sky Altar. It's kind of like they switched altars in this top side. The bottom side here, WIB with an aggressive push on this Eleanor. Will Eleanor be able to hold this? We have Eleanor holding on. It looks like Eleanor Heraclius seeming to be the play for these teams. Teardown used by JST. Wow, teardown used on this Desert Altar. Teardown increasing, I believe, the attack of all the units attacking this Desert Altar. So this Desert Altar will be vulnerable for 3 minutes here, trying to commit points to taking more of a point differential with these structures here. What do you think of teardown usage, Dirty Dan?
I think it's nice here, especially, and I'm kind of just thinking through Eleanor a little bit. I believe she does have the defense tree, so offering a little bit more tankiness from the talent tree that she has, and I think knowing that and trying to get that building down a little bit quicker with the teardown usage, I think is a smart player to counter. As you can still see the Eleanor kind of hanging on there. Really quite impressive.
I don't know. Eleanor is looking better and better with these Osiris League games. Just holding on in this situation. WIB also doing a great job filling this structure. Just continuously march swapping, taking out their low marches, putting in new ones. You see the double C's just running in there. Double C's with probably Julius Caesar for the extra troop capacity, just continuously keeping the structure full. But there are a lot of JST marches coming in, and there is a teardown on the structure for another minute 30. Will WIB be able to hold this Desert Altar?
So impressed with Eleanor, even just this short 15-second clip that we kind of just been watching. She's hanging on there, and again, I think the defense tree, and then sometimes commanders don't look great on paper, which is why I kind of didn't try to avoid offering my thoughts on what she was going to perform like. But she's looking really good right now, holding down this desert altar for WIB.
It's holding. There are marches just scrambling. Oh, Eleanor dropped. It is a Zhuge Liang. This is not what you want to see from WIB. Is there a backup garrison nearby? They're continuously filling this structure still. There is a Heraclius outside. Will the Heraclius get in? No, Heraclius was not able to get in. JST taking the Desert Altar, denying 300 points at least from WIB. That was a huge swarm, a huge usage of skill. With the teardown, I don't think JST would be able to take that structure without teardown, Dirty Dan.
I don't think so either. That Eleanor was sitting pretty comfortably. And I think, yeah, I think you're right. It just that little bit extra from the teardown to swing that in favor of JST.
The more I see teardown, Valiant Stand, the 1 point usage skills, the more I'm like, you know what? 1 point for 300 point swing. It's been a minute since I captured it. It's 450 point swing now. There might be, you know, some usage there, as especially if, you know, you have these extra skills that you're sitting on. For example, if your skill bar is close to full, you're attacking a structure or defending a structure, just plop that onto the structure you're defending or attacking. I definitely think there's some usage there, and JST just showing that, hey, like these extra skills, this is one of the skills that was changed during the patch. Just making use of the new skills in this Osiris League season, taking 4 altars for JST.
Everything that I've seen from JST this Osiris League is they definitely value the structure game, and it shows with the way that they use some of these skills. And some of those opening matches, I noticed them using Valiant Stand a little bit more, but again, just it really shows how much they do value the structure game. And again, I think, as you alluded to, the kind of like accessibility of just having to just, oh, it's just 1 point, and you can kind of recover from that, especially during these arc holds, right? You're not using skills really anyway, because you are still trying to stockpile for when the arc does get cashed. 1 point's not really going to kill you. So really, really great usage here from JST, and kind of paying off. Although arc has now been cashed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next is, I think with the structure game that's going on right now, with the skills JST is using, I feel like WIB, with how dominant they were that first mid-fight, they have to cash in this arc, because you're just slowly losing the game. The game's completely even, but JST has points per minute, and WIB doing exactly that, cashing in that arc, making sure that, hey, we'll have another mid-fight. This pretty much guarantees a third arc as well.
Yep. Which is what we love to see as casters and community. I think those 3 arc matches are always the best, because you know that it's going to be going down to the wire.
Well, it doesn't guarantee it, but you know it's going to be very, very close. With this cash.
Yeah.
You see energetic used by both teams, and yeah,
WIB knows that they have to keep scoring these arcs right now, because JST is just doing so good. As we see another Eleanor and Garrison, holy cow! Hey,
Eleanor might be the new Garrison for Osiris League. I mean, being a Cavalry Garrison lead, right, is super beneficial, because Cavalry being the fastest troop type. I bet that the Garrison lead is Eleanor Heraclius with full cav, so that they could refresh as soon as possible. WIB taking this Desert Altar, by the way, huge for them.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of the Jans before, the Jads with Heraclius back in the day. It was her YSS before Heraclius.
And I think also to the point that there's just a ton of archer rallies that are going, and you
That's
kind of
true.
get the nice pure counter there. Although on that last take that WIB had, there was just too much open field presence. But I think if you're getting a rally scenario with not much open field, you're going to want to take advantage of that troop type counter.
Yeah. You just the pure rock paper scissors of Rise of Kingdoms cavalry infantry archers. As we start to see JST's let's call this scissors going straight into the rock of cavalry.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting to see. I honestly did not think we would see this many Eleanors. I thought that we would see a few. But yeah, it looks to be paying off.
And chat saying WIB, there looks to be a lot of WIB supporters. Interestingly enough, I was in 1846 back in KVK3.
Way, there you go. Look at you.
So back when there were 6 alliances in during COVID. So it's good to see, you know, them being super aggressive, them, you know, going against JST here. JST being, you know, a storied kingdom. Both these teams trying to show that, hey, we're still in our primes. With JST downsizing in terms of size, we have WIB in 1846 downsizing in terms of size. Just the trend of Rise of Kingdoms now with how low the Imperium line is. These teams just trying to show out for their kingdoms, saying, hey, you know, we're still an Osiris League, we're still a kingdom to contend with. As we start to see JST rotating mid, there are marches here from WIB trying to pepper them down a little bit, trying to make them a bit low.
Little premature skirmishes. This is very interesting to see. What is JST going to have up their sleeve? Are they going to focus on structures, go for that little fucking pincer, or are they going to commit to this arc? Because it kind of looks like they are dumping a fair amount of resources into this mid fight.
They're like, hey, that sandwich didn't work. Let's just put everyone together.
Yeah.
Let's just murder ball everyone together and, you know, see if that works. Because, yeah, that last mid fight, good plan. I just feel like the timing was a bit off there with that idea. And that's credit to WIB's decisiveness, too. Just going straight into that murder ball when they saw that pincer. But now ahead. JST rotating early here. If you're in this situation, Dirty Dan, which side do you think has the advantage for this mid fight?
So I mean, just based off that little like skirmish that we saw, I mean, you have a fair amount of troops in that JST murder ball now that are kind of dwindled down. You can see some yellow troops in there, which you never want to have going into a mid fight. That sky altar from JST was under duress. They just flipped it back to their control, so you might have some late rotation coming potentially, although it did seem like they were pouring a lot of resources in. So even still, as we kind of glance over, still under a little bit of pressure. So I don't know, it looks like let's see if that troop advantage from the middle of those couple skirmishes that we had in the middle are going to pay off for WIB and take a second arc here with just under 2.5 minutes to go.
This middle is essentially like a funnel. Everyone sending everything to this middle fight. You could actually see that JST, they don't have as many. They have more people in the middle. WIB have more reinforcements coming into this middle. But it is 2 minutes until arc spawns. JST probably saying it's too early. They might be able to refresh and, you know, defeat the murder ball with the refresh. Although we do see a contingent of marches here from WIB saying, hey, like, let's try to take down this Eleanor, this Sky Altar. There are some response JST marches as we try to keep eyes on both of these areas here. The staring contest in this middle is crazy intense. You see JST standing on top of their sentry as if it's a rallying point, a rallying cry for them. And with the game dead even, essentially dead even, this arc can determine who comes out ahead in terms of a lead here. As we continue to see WIB pile in the last couple of marches coming through. JST able to hold their Sky Altar. Looks like WIB's Desert Altar is going to be taken.
Oh boy. Will
the reinforcement march come inside of the Desert Altar? It does, but I don't think it'll be enough. They have a full rally on this. They have swarmers. So JST using a full rally and one individual, 4 marches to take that desert altar.
Taking that 93 approach.
As WIB using Bog Down, we see emotes being used mid-fight. Bog Down used, we see the Venn diagram from both teams. Dust Up used by WIB. JST Dust Up in response. It's been mirrored this whole game, the skills, as we go into dot mode here to see the sad faces. Again, we are using the new dot mode. This is the first game, or this week is the first week that these teams can use this new dot mode.
Already starting to pour out a little bit for JST here. WIB looking pretty dominant in mid-fights.
And you start to see the sad faces coming out. It's looking pretty even in terms of sad faces, but you could see that because WIB have to push in, they're like ignoring the people in the back and targeting the murder ball so that it gets dragged towards the altar. And now it's a 50-50. Arc has spawned. Who will get first pull? This is going to be so close. I think it's going to be WIB, and WIB it is. That Double C running for his life gets sad face instantly. This mid-fight, the sad face is coming out from JST though. Dirty Dan, who do you think is winning this mid-fight? Chat, who do you think is winning this mid-fight? Put it in the chat here.
I think WIB might have the slight advantage here, not to mention that they were able to pull a little bit onto their side as JST picks it up and then drops instantly.
As this mid-fight is continuing, JST winning the points per minute, taking 4 altars right now. So WIB, they're saying, okay, you can take our altars, but we will take this arc. It is sad face galore from JST. WIB taking this arc with dominance. Absolutely smashing the murder ball. This is huge for WIB. Taking this arc, 3.5k points, pretty much in the pockets unless JST can somehow steal this.
This is huge. Now it's for WIB. Like, okay, structures. Let's get back. Let's stabilize. And at this point now, with the point differential only being about 200, this is where you can be from WIB. Okay, guys, let's calm down. Let's stabilize. And I don't know if WIB has to be super aggressive here as we kind of wean towards the back end of the match.
I definitely think like we could look at the skills here. JST, you know, hard push versus teardown is an interesting debate. 3 points for 1 point, but that 3 points, extra damage on rallies, more movement speed, march speed. As we see Makote taking the Sky Altar. I think the only team I've seen use hard push is WIB. There might be other teams, but only team that I've spectated so far this Osiris League, I feel, has been WIB. They might have something cooking there. What do you think of the skill usages so far, Dirty Dan?
It's a steep cost, and I'm not sure if we're seeing much payoff from it since you know, the JST has been so dominant. But I think the best thing that we can call is on the top side how they kind of keep flipping. So WIB going in will take the desert altar at times. They lose a Sky Altar. It's not that way right now, but we're kind of seeing that. We see it on the bottom side a little bit, but yeah, it's interesting to see of such a big skill usage. But I'm not sure if we're seeing the payoff on it in the structure game for WIB, but nonetheless, they do have Arc in hand and a little bit more control of this match.
Currently a 700 point differential going towards 800 point differential going towards JST. That will be erased with the arc, giving 3.5k points. So essentially there is a 2.8k point differential going towards WIB. And they have to hold this arc for they're holding the arc, but if they want to, the maximum rather that they could hold this arc is 12 minutes as indicated. So there will be a third arc.
Yes, that'll give us about 5 minutes from the point of arc spawning. I believe I have to do some rough math in my head. I believe it's 5 minutes arc will spawn. And one of the teams is going to have to get control of that So there's gonna be one more showdown for the ages in the middle.
So for the third arc, JST has been wiped in mid both arcs so far, both mid fights so far. What does JST have to do differently for these mid fights? Why have they been losing these mid fights there then?
I mean, I don't think it was a massive impact, but that little skirmish in the beginning of that first this last arc that we just watched, and peppering down some of those troops on JST side, definitely a little bit of an advantage for WIB. Again, I kind of always allude to, there's a lot of intricacies that go into arc. There's a lot of like technical aspects that probably a lot of us viewers don't pay attention to. Who's targeting troops better? Who's also bringing the better commander pairings onto the field is always such a huge, I think, oversight. So it could be as simple as WIB is just doing better in those mid fights of targeting the troops that matter, clearing the main damage dealers or debuffers, and just maybe even synergizing as a team a little bit more. Someone calling out, hey, we target this troop next, kind of clearing those troops off the field a little bit more quicker. That's what I would probably allude to of why they are doing a little bit better on these mid fights, because those balls kind of looked pretty similar in size. Although JST did kind of use a little bit more resources to kind of play to the structure game, they both did look relatively similar in size and.
It is still anyone's game. WIB having the arc. But JST's point differential currently completely even. But we've seen that they have, extra skills for these structures. You've seen, I feel like honestly JST has been more aggressive in the structure game and being able to flip WIB structures there. But perhaps, the aggressive marches onto the structures during that mid fight may have also played it, although that mid fight was pretty dominant. So
yeah,
it's going to be really interesting to see how they change for this last mid fight when it does happen.
Talk about mid-game adjustment. Hey guys, what do we need to do different here? Is it the skill usage? There's still 2 skills on the board that we don't know. So man, this mid fight, like, we could speed up the clock right now. I just kind of want to watch that at this point.
Yeah, it does look, although Skyalter are taken by JST, so that is minus 300 points, huge for them. Obelisk taken by JST as well, minus 40 points, not as big, but it is still a thing.
Yeah.
And we see Teardown used yet again on this same Desert Altar, and WIB with Valiant Stand in response.
There you go.
So you see the attack and the defense skill on top of the same structure, but it looks like JST able to take it. Another minus 300 points, so that's minus 600 points. Minus 750 with the extra minute JST was able to take it.
Whoa.
4 altars, Dirty Dan. This is looking spicy. I think with how things are going, that by the time WIB capture this arc, they'll be up by like 1k, 500 points perhaps. Oh, WIB did capture the arc actually.
Yeah, they captured
so
it.
they're already up. You could see that they are up by 2.2k, as I guess they were like, hey, our structures are getting taken. We've been winning these mid fights. Just run it back in mid.
Yeah.
Let's just keep running it back. And they both traded skills on this Desert Altar. Perhaps they're like, we have skill. Oh, Wookiee Bing Garrison.
It's very curious to me that WIB can be so dominant in the middle, but the structure game is just so good from JST. When you're in the driver's seat with WIB on that second arc, you really could just sit and kind of defend and focus a little bit more on defense, but JST is just so impressive on this structure.
Yeah, JST's structure game has been masterclass this game. Consistently flipping the structure, and that's what's keeping them in this game, honestly.
Yeah.
if we look at the occupation score,
Huge.
Wow. That's pretty much being the difference between the arc score. And that's why this game's even a game right now. So JST just showing that they could do it with structures, but this last arc being 4k points. I don't know if you could just give this up if you're JST, as we start to see the mid rotation super early
already
from WIB. JST having complete vision of this though. JST know with this Sentry that there is going to be a very, very early rotation, and we could start to see the funnel of marches coming from both sides coming into this middle fight, as we start to see the final marches here start to go back, and you could even see marches that were out in the open field starting to walk back, because everyone and their dogs are coming to this mid fight, just throwing everything, the kitchen sink, the counter, the fridge, just trying to make sure that they get this arc.
Yep, this is the one. This is the one that you need.
And it's gonna be a doozy as we start to see the point differential. As we were talking about, those altar takes were huge, and as I said, it's a 1k point differential.
Yep.
Going into this mid fight, so this arc means the world to JST. We haven't been talking about it much, but there are provisioners from WIB. You could see the caravan chilling, level 3 caravan, doing their job, gathering. I don't know if JST has a provisioner out there. I know I see some marches out here from WIB, perhaps sniping provisioners, because they do have 590 provision points, and you just don't get that from standing in a node. So there might have been a provisioner, but gotten sniped by WIB. So we have to keep that in mind. We'll see how much provisions WIB will have in this match, so and if that'll be a difference, because
it matters.
Exactly. It's going to be such a close one, Dirty Dan, that even standing in this node while you're murder balling up might be a difference. You know, that 1 point of provisions right here. As we start to see the murder balls collide. Just testing, just seeing, you know,
poking around,
perusing, trying to. It's like face checking.
Yeah, little fighters in the match, trying to get the reach, trying to get the range.
As we see WIB, they were first here, but it looks like JST's murder ball is a bit bigger. We do see some WIB marches also walking up to the Sky Altar, so there is some Sky Altar.
I'm curious as to why there's not an all-out call here.
Makote also going to the Desert Altar here as well, so
that's questionable. That's questionable right there. Going for a swarm on an altar with no rally support.
Looks like they're trying to sad face those marches on that altar.
This one, Makote, sad facing.
Makote, yeah, that Eleanor.
That's questionable.
That active skill, you just the power of France, just smacking those marches.
I would have liked to see Makote here, maybe trying to pick off some of those troops going into the middle. I know he wants to try and get in for that rotation, but he's going to be delayed by at least 2 minutes now. A minute for those troops to get back to the city, and then a minute to walk over.
In the meanwhile, JST taking the Sky Altar. I have no idea how they did that. I didn't even see any open field marches from JST. Just magically getting altars. And WIB, the point differential, 500, and it's growing 590 to 350 because of that altar flip. This is a must win from WIB. Must win for JST as well. We have 1 minute until arc spawns. 13 minutes in the game. As mid-fight starts, we see Bog Down used by WIB. Bog Down in response from JST. The Venn diagram coming into play. WIB with To The Death and To The Death in response by JST. All of these mid fights, skills have been mirrored. As we start to see this murder ball, let's go into dot mode to see the sad faces coming out.
Who's gonna be better?
Who do you think is gonna win this murder ball? In the chat, spam your favorite team, JST or WIB. I don't know, Dirty Dan. The sad faces coming out from JST. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's been like 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, the rate definitely looks a little bit faster for JST on those sad faces.
The sad face ratio. Oh, although there are some WIB sad faces coming out. Ooh, this is looking like a close one. Arc spawning in 3 seconds. 2, 1. Will JC get first pull? If JC gets first pull, this is going to be a huge play. Who gets it? It is JST. JST on the top side, getting first pull, but insta-swarmed. That CPO was not a designated arc carrier. Getting insta-swarmed from WIB, which is exactly what they needed to do. And we start to see more of these JST sad faces. Who will get the second pull, though? There's like there is a crazy balance with these pulls, and it looks like WIB with the Joan of Arc hero, Joan of Arc, Papa Baba running with this arc with a huge pull, a huge pull.
There you go.
That pull might have won them the game. Will JC be able to have a counter pull here? JC able to get the arc. But it's always on a CPO. CPO insta sad faced. And the murder ball was so even. And this is looking like 3 people just having fun in mid. Having a little disco party here. Sad face galore. Everyone just a slither of health. And it's looking like it's going to come down to reinforcements. And ooh, the reinforcements look even too.
This is also where you maybe make a call, guys. Send all your cav. Send cav. Don't send anything else. And your fastest marches. You got to get them into the middle.
Send cav to mid, but Asher, Bunna, Paul, and Boudica just casually strolling with this Arc of Osiris, casually strolling with the game in their hands.
Run of their life here.
JST able to take that Archer March down. But now there will be an XY with this.
Belly, perhaps?
Perhaps. It looks like it is XY Belly.
There you go.
Belisarius Prime. The community laughed at you, but WIB will praise you. Bringing the game to WIB. XY being forgotten, but being remembered today as the arc carrier. Diesel 1846 able to take this arc, potentially take the game. How does JC take it back, Dirty Dan?
Maybe coming from this inside lane potentially, and maybe going for that Shrine of War snipe and just even preventing WIB from catching that thing at all. But that XY is moving. He does get a chance to get an additional march speed bonus for every time he's attacked, and then not to mention the additional march speed bonus that he gets when he leaves battle due to Belisarius. Perfect arc carrier right now.
And Diesel just sprinting to the Shrine of War. I think you just insta-cap this, I guess.
Yes.
You just insta-cap it, go into this Shrine of War. Or, oh, wait, are they going to insta-cap it? There is 9 minutes left in this arc match. Yeah, they are going straight to this Shrine of War from it looks like. Not risking it. Saying, hey, even if there's another arc that spawns, we believe in our mid. Maybe we won't be able to capture it, but we'll at least be able to deny it. As they capture the arc. Huge play from Diesel. Huge play from that XY Belisarius. Hero XY Belisarius.
Wow. Belisarius who? Let's go. I love to see it. I love to see it.
Able to get that point differential back up by about 3.2k. Arc spawning in 7 minutes. I don't know if JST would have enough time to take an arc with that 7 minutes. Perhaps they have master strategies as a last skill.
That would have to be the scenario, yeah. And if they can do what they've done all game and just push the issue on some of these structures, specifically the altars, and swing them and keep those, that will inch them ever so closer. Hopefully, maybe there's some provisions on the way for them as well. Wow, I thought this, you would think that with that arc cache that it would kind of be over, but with how strong JST is on the structure game, they're still hanging in there.
With 7 minutes to go, they are for pretty much like 350 point differential right now in terms of like gaining points per minute. This is going to be absolutely huge for them. But even I actually think, yes, it brings the game closer, but for them to have that final nail in the coffin, they need this final arc. With only 7 minutes to go, I mean, 400 points per minute, mental math, like 2.8k if they kept this.
As is, yeah.
The 7 times 4 is 28 on a decimal, 2.8. Mental math on stream. Do not do it while you're casting. But that is not enough for them to win this game, is essentially what I'm saying. So they need to capture this arc when it spawns.
Yeah, that big question mark on the skill bar, just kind of screaming master strategist. At least I hope so, for content's sake. Big
This game
question mark here.
has been a crazy one. Dust up used by JST. Okay. Dust up in response by WIB. I feel like with the way these skills have been happening, these teams just see, oh, they're using this skill, I'm going to use it too. It's been a Mickey Mouse back and forth mirrored skills. We see CPO in this garrison, Desert Altar. JST actually about to start generating points from their opponent Desert Altar.
Yeah, they can get a proper garrison there, which I think that's marching right now.
Heraclius walking in. Oh, there you go. Walking in to that Desert Altar. They need a garrison swap ASAP. There you go. They got the Heraclius in. Now do they have the reins? I don't know if they have enough for this. The marches nearby are all 1 HP.
Yeah, not enough juice there.
But 740 points per minute because of that altar cap. Ooh. But they denied the points per minute from WIB for so long there. As we see the Desert Altar flip to WIB on the other side as well. So this pendulum of back and forth with these structures.
Man. I can't imagine what these players are feeling right now. I'm exhausted watching this. I would be sweating beyond belief right now with how back and forth this match has been.
JST looking to keep their top 4 streak alive. WIB looking to make their first mark in Horus. Trying to prove that they are still one of the top teams in Osiris League, trying to get their first championship, Osiris League championship. They've had 960, 60 GT in their way. In this realm, they're versing JST. Who will take this game? Who will take that next step to glory, that next step to victory?
Patience starting to come in for WIB. Nothing from JST yet from I just saw in that quick glimpse.
Yeah, WIB knowing, hey, mid is our game. The structure is that JST, they're too good at that stuff. They're just gonna take our Sky Altar regardless if we bring people there. So let's just go mid. There's only 4 minutes left to go.
That's a
so
lot
you
of
only get
resources on that
you only
Sky
get
Altar.
you only get 4 minutes of points when you capture structure at this point. So, you know, not that much value compared to an arc. Although the 1.4k differential, though, 1.5k differential.
It's creeping, slowly creeping up.
It is creeping.
Looks so committed to the structure game, not sending anything to mid right now.
And I don't know, do they have provisioners? They have to have provisioners. If they're this confident that they don't need mid to win this game, then they have to have provisioners. This WIB provisioner just trying their best to find any node. Caravans, please come to me. Finally found a caravan node. As we have the 4 altar cap, 440 to 160. And the funny enough, the outpost proving to be the difference in this game. Just trying to hold on to these outposts, to hold on to as much points per minute as possible, because this game is coming down to the wire. WIB or JST? We have 2 minutes until arc spawns.
On my end, I count 5 provisioners for JST.
Oh, they are provisioning. They are provisioning. And I think the reason is this timer in the top right is a minute late. There is 1 minute 40 seconds until arc spawn. So I don't think that JST would have been able to take the arc regardless. And
Fair.
perhaps they, because they're not fighting for it, I'm guessing that they don't have master strategies on the bar. So they're like, hey, let's take all the structures. Let's try our best to deny the points. They're making points on the Shrine of Life. They're making points. And so it begs to differ. WIB, now they're probably second guessing their decision, because JST sent nothing to mid. They sent like shout out to, you know, Jumba for being the sacrificial lamb, going to this middle fight to show presence, but
that's a little, I don't want to say, I think it's something that they had to respect though, because they know that JST has not used one skill. So I think they have to assume the worst and think that there is a master strategist at play there. Exactly.
But JST just saying, hey, well, all right, we'll take the shot. We'll do what we've been doing all game. Look at the differential. Arc of Osiris versus occupation points. A tale of 2 different games here.
Oh my gosh, they're closing this so quickly. It's insane. We're about, what, 800 point difference now?
Just as I said, oh, you know, points, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, distractions don't matter. JST proving me wrong here. Just holding on to these structures, making this game so close. It's gonna come down to provisioners. This one provisioner, I don't know. I feel like I should just keep my eyes on that one provisioner. There is a T1 march from JST, so you know they didn't get the pull. Okay, so there's no arc in play for JST. This one provisioner from WIB. The score is so close.
300 point difference. Oh my god.
300 point differential. You're gonna get an achievement from our skin. This is their main provisioner from WIB. How many points are they gonna get? They got about 800 points, 700 points from their main provisioner. Is that gonna be the difference? Is gathering the meta in Rise of Kingdoms? Farmers unite. Will that win the game for WIB?
I think that's it. I think that's got to be the one.
We still have a couple of seconds left. The timer's at 0. But we got a Herman Prime Garrison. Oh my goodness. Look at the points. Look at the points, 30 Dan.
Little more provisions. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be less than 100 points. It's going to be less than 50 points. It's going to be less than 10. Who won? Who won the game? Someone in the chat, let me know. It's Cactus with MVP. WIB with the win.
Wow. What a nail biter.
30,158 to 30,292 points. WIB with the upset on JST in terms of bets. And JST, for the first time in their team's history, do not make it to the top 4 in Osiris League.
Stunned. Wow. Talk about going down to the wire.
MVPs to the XY, to the Belisarius Prime, and to the Sundiok Gatherer. GG's to JST for the magnificent try on occupation. 28.8 occupation score to 18.3 was almost enough. But that 10.5k Ark of Osiris score and just enough provisions at 1.394k for provisions being the difference for WIB. Man, if this doesn't make you subscribe to the official Rise of Kingdoms channel, I don't know what will. More Ark of Osiris content to be had. Congratulations to WIB for make it to the semifinals. Dirty Dan, do you have any final words for this game?
Wow. That's all I got as well. I'm taken back right now. I'm at a loss for words. What an amazing performance on both teams. Like you said, tale of two takes. One focusing purely on structures, the other saying we're going to dominate you in the middle, coming down to the wire with some provision. What a match. That's all I got. Wow.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel and Dirty Dan's channel as well. Our links are in the description. Dirty Dan currently in KVK. Give us some love. Give some love to Rise of Kingdoms for this amazing match. Be sure to subscribe to the official Rise of Kingdoms channel right here, and we'll be casting next week for the semifinals. See you then.